If you're a Wall Street professional in a front office job, as a portfolio manager, as a risk taker, or as an investment banker, chances are sooner rather than later you will hit your first million paycheck. What does life look like after that paycheck? For me, I was 27 when I hit my first million paycheck. Now, I didn't get all of it. Half of it went to the government. I was working for someone, so it was W-2 income. Zorna would be first to point that out. So it's not true that I took the entire million home. I took only half of it home. $1 million was my gross paycheck. But what does life look like for a Wall Street professional at a personal level, at a professional level, as a family? And what can you do to maintain and improve on it after that? Hi, this is Finance Dad, Shalabh Garg. I've had a long career in Wall Street. I've worked at a bank. I've worked at a hedge fund. I currently run my own hedge fund. And in today's podcast, we will cover life of a Wall Street professional after she or he hits their first 1 million paycheck. And I use the word paycheck deliberately because you're not going to see the entire million. A portion will be deferred. In my time when I first made my first million, money was not deferred. You got to pay your entire money in cash after tax, but they didn't invest portion of it in the company stock for you because this was pre the financial crisis. It's only after the financial crisis that the government pushed and forced the financial institutions and banks to defer a portion of your total income. So you get, if you make $1 million in your gross income, including salary and bonus, most likely at least $300,000 or $400,000 of it will get deferred or paid over a period of 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. The idea being that if you misbehave, quote unquote, professionally, which means that you lose money or you anger someone, they can claw some of that deferred income back. If you resign and leave and join another bank or another finance company, then you lose that deferred income. So it's a way of sort of incentivizing a Wall Street professional to think long term as opposed to thinking about the paycheck just for this year. Now, in practical terms, after 3 years have passed, you get used to that deferral every year. It's kind of like an additional tax that you're paying off, and you completely forget about the deferred part of your income because it becomes, from the previous year, starts to pay off a year after year. So I wouldn't place too much importance on the deferrals. Taxes, though, are real. Half, the government does take half. And in New York City, between city, state, and federal, there is no way to avoid it. You can move to Florida, but I have never lived in Florida. I've always lived in the city of New York for the entire 25 years I've been in America. So I know that in the city of New York, half will go to the government between all the kind of taxes that you have to pay. But against those taxes, you get amazing food, you get to hang out with the best people in the world. It is fun to be in New York. So I wouldn't say that the half that you end up paying in taxes in New York is unfair, because there is no other city like New York either, right? The energy and the opportunity and the kind of people that you hang out with, it is unbelievable. And it's a whole different podcast topic. We're not going to get into it today. But what does life look like for a Wall Street professional after your first million? First of all, even after the government taking away half, it is a lot of money. Even in today's inflation, even in today's cost of things, $500,000 that you get after tax in cash will change your life in a very, very material way. You will be able to afford things you were not able to afford before. You will be able to do things you will not be able to do before. You will be able to buy things, eat things, pay for things that you were not able to do before. All of a sudden, when you hang out with your friends who are not in Wall Street, it'll feel like you're going to places to do recreational activities where you can write checks for things and they cannot. So I would say the first thing you need to be is sensitive, because not everybody's going to make that kind of income. And they may be doing a job equally important or an equally intense one as you. So sensitivity is something I would recommend. But it doesn't have to stop there. You have to do things for yourself. You have to buy that wardrobe that you want to buy. You want to spend on golf clubs you want to always spend on. You want to spend on that sports car. I'm just joking. That's not smart investments. You want to put some away for investment. You want to put some away for the rainy day, because over a long Wall Street career, talking from a professional standpoint, the million may stay that way and even grow from there. But over a long period of career, there will always be breaks as well. Years that you don't have that kind of income because you didn't have that kind of a performance. So income on Wall Street tends to be volatile. Enjoy that first million, but don't think of that million as a starting point. Don't immediately conclude that the million will become 10 and 100. In fact, there's not that many professionals in Wall Street that make 10 and 100. Over the course of their careers. There are several that do, but it's not the average or the median that's making $10 million a year or making even $100 million a year. There are some that do. So I'm not at all suggesting you should not aspire to make that kind of income as well, but it's not the norm. The norm ends up being between 1 and 3. You make that over many, many years. You save some, and then as you approach your 50s, you retire with it. Hopefully you've saved enough to do something of your own at that time. What does it mean personally for you? Well, all of a sudden, the girlfriend that you have, or the boyfriend that you have, or the spouse that you have, they're surprised initially, because even though you hear about it, when that kind of money starts to hit the bank, they definitely look at you differently. They start to look at you as someone who is more than what they thought they were, because money is the way we evaluate people. And to be honest, that's not the worst way to evaluate people either, especially in our great nation of ours. Everything costs money, right? Nothing is for free. Whether it's healthcare or it's education, you have to pay for everything. So as a result, as an arbiter to evaluate people by the income that they generate, especially if they're not Nepo kids, and by the way, we have a whole family podcast on Nepo kids, so let's not even go there. If it's not inherited money, if it's self-made money, then why should we evaluate people on that yardstick, given that everything in the country costs money? My recommendation there, with respect to your personal life, is to share, is to let the spouse or the boyfriend or the family that has been a part of the journey with you, is to let them enjoy that income as well. How can you let them enjoy? By having a joint bank account. Simple as that. There's no reason why as a family or as a couple there should be 2 separate individual bank accounts. It's just a sure shot way of the marriage over a long period of time not working out. I'm not saying that has to be the case with a boyfriend, because you've not yet made the commitment of marriage. But if you're married, you should have a joint bank account, and your salary should hit that bank account, your bonuses should hit that bank account, and let your spouse see it and feel ownership towards it. The more ownership he or she will feel towards your income, the more they will spend time, not just to spend it, but help you preserve it, to help you invest it, to help you think about it as a family. More transparency is better than less transparency. And I just want to let you know, Zarna and I always had a joint bank account. I've never had money away from her, and thankfully today, she doesn't have money away from me. She's making so much money. So it has paid off in the long run. Now, I didn't know that at 45 she will launch a career and have the kind of income she currently has. But I'm benefiting from it nevertheless, and by being honorable in the early years of our career where we had joint bank accounts, I'm benefiting from it in a late stage of her career. So you never know how life may turn out, and at a personal level, I would say, I would recommend joint bank accounts. Let your spouse see what you have as opposed to always hide it away from them. And then, I guess on this topic, I should add to it, I do offer a consulting hour. I am uniquely positioned from both vantage points. I've had a long Wall Street career, and I've had a spouse who had lead commercial success herself. So in terms of how to deal with matters of family, how to preserve, how to grow, any of those questions, I can't think of a better person to answer those for you. And you can reach me through the text box below you, email or otherwise. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer these questions in the context of you personally and your particular needs that you may have, whether you are the Wall Street professional or the spouse of one Wall Street professional. Just to summarize things I would not do with that first million. I would not spend it on all of it on assets that depreciate. A car depreciates 50% the minute you take it out of the lot. Don't spend all of it on that. Don't spend all of it on clothes, which will just go away over time, that you will have to replace. I would spend some money on vanity for sure, because you've not had that before, anytime before. Why should you not? Vanity is a good thing because it helps you grow, it helps you use those things, and you move over them once you've had them. But at the same time, invest, put some money in an S&P 500, put some money into that rental property that can create cash flow for you over a long period of time, but also put that money in vanity. I'm not discouraging you from that. With that, this is Finance Dad signing off. Hope you found that useful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm competing with my own family podcast, as you know. I want more and more people to follow me on this podcast. With that, see you next time. Finance Dad signing off.